computer. Happy Sunday. Okay, guys, tonight for Power Plan, I want to share with you some updates to the MMM board, share with you some updates in general to boards. I want to talk to you about, well, a lot of this is going to be about boards now that I say that. So before we dive into all the board stuff, I want to just take a quick look at the week to come. We have an auto ship on the 10th, which is just 2 days from now. So right now, first thing we're going to do, because I think it's the most important, is we're going to get into our cloud and we're going to make a list of any auto shippers we have that are going to be the 10th and or the 15th, because they are going to be, why is my thing not working? They are going to be our priority this week is the word I'm trying to come up with. First time I tried to log into the cloud, it was like unavailable. And I thought, oh, that's going to ruin the training, but it's a backup. Okay. So to do this, you want to go into your My Team, My Customers. At the top, you want to scroll, like it'll start off with customer number, customer name, email, scroll until you see next auto ship. Click those words twice, that box twice. And then anybody with a 910 or a 915, we want to write their names down. And I can tell already that I have a girl who has an auto ship that she has forgotten she has an auto ship. So you're going to write those names down. And we're going to make sure we contact them. Sorry, I'm writing. So for example, I know this girl has forgotten her auto ship because she placed a giant order when that 30% off sale just happened recently. So I'm sure she's forgotten that she has an auto ship already scheduled that's supposed to come out. So you're going to have stuff like that. Whenever they run promos, sometimes people forget to turn off their existing auto ship and they place a nice big order. So that's why it's so important to keep track of those. The other thing that I would like to do, whoops, before we get rolling, and I should have stayed in the cloud and I didn't, so give me a hot second to get back in there. I want to do our rate of run. It's early in the month, but it's never too early to know your numbers, right? So for this, you're going to go to your, stay on your homepage, scroll down to your business snapshot, click the gray bar so it drops open for you and gives you information. There's going to be green, orange, dark gray, and then light gray. In the box of information under the light gray, you're going to see something that says current QV. I want you to take that dollar amount and I want you to divide it by the 8, or divide it by 8 because today is the 8th of the month. That's showing you a much smaller number, right? Because it divided it by 8, but it's also showing you now what your daily average has been. Remember, I know looking at mine, this is probably inflated because the first day of the month, right? We had that big promo, but let's roll with it, right? Like this will be fun. So take your new smaller number, multiply it by 30 because we have 30 days, right? There's 30 days, not 31. Yeah. Okay. I just had a moment where I was like, am I wrong? Multiply it by 30, and that is your projected total to end at. So remember, when we do this, it's a projected total based on your rate of run. I don't know about you, but I was running at a very fast rate during the 30% off. That rate has slowed down. So the number I'm looking at is very elevated. It's a lovely number to see, but I'm not wrapping my heart around it. But I just think it's good to know like where you're at, excuse me, in comparison to where you've been. So another thing you can do is, like, let's say, let my calculator back out. Let's say that you had said, I want to be 12K by the end of this month. You would have had to done $400 a day, you and your team, to get to that number. So if we take 400 times 8, which is the 8th of the month, you should be at $3,200 right now. That would be on course for the 12K by the end of the month. So that's another way you can kind of compare your numbers. Like in that case, since we know it's elevated, sometimes it's just easier to do that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is share with you this Millionaire Messenger mission that I promise you we're constantly trying to tweak these things to make things better. But because of speaking with Lisa and Sandra earlier this week and some of the struggles they had, I took the advice that I gave to them, and I'm going to play with it this week myself. So I laminated this with just, the laminate sheets that you get at the Walmarts. I will tell you, if you travel a lot or you're going to take this to and from I would actually take it someplace to get it laminated because this is pretty thin. And I want like, if I laminate something, I want it to be like laminated. But this is just a test for me, right? So what I'm doing is I just have my notebook and my sheet, right? And so anytime I'm going to sit down and work my business, I can open my notebook. I have my little, I packed it, my little dry erase marker. I packed it already, but so I would just check it off, right? That I've done it, but I would put the names in my book, in my notebook, because I know that was something people were like, well, I'm checking it off, but I don't know who I'm talking to. Well, if you need to keep track of names, just open a fresh notebook every day, write down those names, check off that you did the messages, write down the names, check off that you did the messages, right? And then same thing when it comes to your social media. If you want to like sit down right now and think through, okay, I'm going to do Money Monday or Motivational Monday or Movement Monday, you can jot that down so that tomorrow when Monday hits and you're taking care of your sister or you're working your day job or you're trying to get your life in order, you could just open your notebook and see, that's right, that's what I'm doing today. I'm doing a Motivational Monday. Or what I wanted to share, let me share my screen. That's not the one I want to share. In the MMM board, if you scroll down now, you will see there is a bingo card link. Yay! So these are just, this is just 5 of the months. Remember, let's pretend that it was January 2025. If you click on this bingo card, it's going to open it up in Canva for you. January 1st is not going to be the same as January 1st in 2025. So January 1st on this time, I don't know, it doesn't indicate a day. But just so you know, so if you come, like, let's say January 1st turned out to be a Saturday, and this has Motivational Monday on it or something, right? Like, just know these are past cards, okay? They're not current, they're not up to date. You will have to do some tweakage if the card isn't exactly right. But if you are looking for an idea of something to post or something to keep track of, you can use the old bingo cards, right? The other thing that's in here now, and it's been in here, but I did a little better job of it on the Canva story templates. When you get into that folder, we have opportunity slides, sales slides, blah, blah, blah. But down here is the GLP-1 slide. So far there's just the one slide in there. But again, when you go into Canva, you can make a copy, you can pop your face in. I do want to share a little something with you guys tonight while we're all together. See how this has like a shadow over it or a dark color? You got to slide that to the right. You got to get that out of the way, okay? And then once it's out of the way, you can take any old picture. Whoops, I ignore that. I did it wrong. You can take any old picture and pop it in, okay? But if you don't get rid of that shadow thing, you won't be able to do it. Okay, so just keep that in mind, because I know some people were struggling to get the pictures in, and that's why you're struggling.
You know what I did? I just put mine over and I did a white background. So it covered up your, because I'm like, I don't know why I can't remove her picture.
That's as long as you could read the writing and see, that's all that matters. Really.
Well, I had to change it up. So I'm probably going to go back and fix that now because some of the print was in white and some of it was in black.
Yeah. So, and you can play around with this too. Like you can go to the transparency. You can make that really dark to cover your face or really light. Or you can go up here and change the color of the transparency. Maybe you want a greeny overtone, a pink overtone, right? Like you can change all that stuff around.
Question really quick. If we have a board that we've created, or if we've got a slide or something that we've created, or someone has given it to us and we've got the link, do we just send that to one of y'all and y'all pop up in here?
Yeah, let's talk about that now, because Lord have the mercy.
Because we don't need everybody's Tom, Dick, and Harry's crap in there.
Well, and here's the issue. How do I stop my screen? Okay, so there for a while boards was free. Then it became boards, you could get 3 free boards, right? Well, now it's even different. You can only get 1 free shared board. So for example, if I share the MMM board with Sonia, that's her 1 free board. That's why we're trying to cram everything on that board. But here was the kicker. Because I created that board, I ended up having to pay for boards. Otherwise, we were going to lose that board because I couldn't get into it. I couldn't edit it. I couldn't continue to share it. So yes, if you want to add to that, now there's two ways we can do it. If it's, if you're finding that, if you're like, gosh, Tammy, every third day I'm sending you something to add, I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I think I can add you as a, I don't know what they call it, co-creator, whatever. But if it's just one-offs here and there, just send me the link and I can put it on. So yeah, so Boards is wonderful. Boards has all that fun information and it's so awesome. But just know that when your free trial is over, because that's what they've been doing, they've been taking everyone's account, making you do a free trial of the whole shabam, and then all of a sudden it ends. Once it ends, you can only have one shared board. So I highly encourage you to go through your boards. If there's anything on that board that you, I mean, if you use boards all the time, then pay for boards. It's $9.99 a month, or you can pay for a whole year upfront, I think for $8 or something like that. Actually, if you choose $9.99 a month, a day later, they'll send you an email and say, do you want to do a yearly at the rate of $6 a month instead of $8? They'll like offer you a deal to do the whole year up front. I just for this first month did the $9.99 because I just want to see how much we actually use it. If we're not going to use it all the time, but I've used a ton of it because it's just been handy to have everything. So anyway, my point is, if you have something to add, let me know. When your free trial runs out, I would encourage you to they call it deactivate your boards and just reactivate the MMM, because we're trying to put everything on that one board so that most people can just have it for free. As long as you just need that one board, you can have that for free. So that was sort of my long story about boards. So let me go back.
Tammy, I have a question. The MMM scripts is the only one that I have activated on my boards account.
Mhm.
But when I tried to go in and create the page for the GLP1 the other night, it's making me pay.
Yeah, that was my
So-
next thing I was going to talk about.
Oh, okay.
Man,
Sorry.
gone are the days of where 3 years ago we had all those 50G and free boards
Yeah.
Right.
created, that Samantha created, and that's why I ended up having to pay, because I had too much good stuff in there.
Yeah, well, we're trying to take the good stuff and move it over. Some of it's been lost or it's on somebody else's board at this point. So using boards to gather responses is something that we just figured out last week, and we weren't sure. Courtney was still on the free trial. I had to pay for it at that point, so I didn't know if it was or not, but we now know that it is something that if you want to do that, you have to pay for it. Now, here's the thing. That's also why I just did 1 month, because having that ability to make that form, and I've shared it in my stories every single day. I have gotten so many people signed up. That to me is worth the $9.99. And so when I post that and they click it and they fill it out, it comes to my email. So I have that. I've got their name, their email, their phone number. I've gone in and created customer accounts for them, or I've figured out who they actually belong to and sent it to the right person. To me, that was worth $9.99 a month. So you got to.
I will definitely be paying. I will definitely be paying for it. I did a photo shoot after church today.
Oh, so you could get ready for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do think for this, for like that product launch, I do think it's worth the $9.99 to have that. I created 14 new free accounts last week.
Wow.
Sharing that link.
Well, and I've got to go in there and do that part of it. I have full disclosure. I'll tell y'all once you stop recording. But anyway, I've got to go in there and do what Courtney was teaching us how to do with making the page. I had accidentally created a page and didn't know what I was doing on one of my other boards. And I was like, what did I do? Well, now that I've watched part of Courtney's thing, well, actually on the way home, I know what I'm doing. So I need to do that tomorrow. So tomorrow is all Thrive. I just have to finish up this and get that done. But I already have 12 people on my list.
Good.
Before I created that little thing.
Yeah. The thing I want to say though is if somebody's watching this and they're like, I can't do the $9.99, or I don't think it's going to be worth it to me, just make sure that you are putting out something on your stories and your posts and giving people a way to get a hold of you. Whether like in your on your stories, you could put send me a message, like they can literally send you a message, but tell them what you want. Like, it's so funny. No one questioned putting their name, email, and phone number for that form thing. But it could even be so much as just send me an email and put your email on there and make it a link to your email. Like, it could be a live link to your email on, your Instagram stories. The other thing that I haven't played with yet is that Canva may be able to do something like that. But again, I pay for Canva because I do use that every day. So I don't know if that's why I'm seeing it through Canva. I'm not sure. But I do want to share with you, I forgot this. I need to open this up. As people have signed up and said, they've either said they're either already my customer and they've said, I want to be on your GLP list, or it's somebody brand spanking new who's like, I want to be on your list. I am going in, I'm obviously creating a customer account when applicable. And then I'm going in and I'm sending them an email back immediately, although it's going really slow. Here we go. Nope. Dang it. Hang on. Hang with me. I'm trying to pull up my sent emails here so that it makes sense.
So while you're waiting for that to come up, is there some place on those slides then that we need to change some information for a link
On the slides. On the
on the
board.
GLP when we create our slides? Because
Oh,
you said
so
there's a link.
Well, what I do, like when you go on Instagram and you make a story,
Yes.
how you can like upload a picture, upload a GIF, whatever. If you click that link button, you can
okay.
upload a link. So when you're making your board, your web page in Boards of that form so that people can fill it out for you, you'll actually click a button. It says share and you'll get a link to copy. And that's the link you want to make sure that you have like in your profile, on any post you make about it, and also any stories that you make about it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, now I've got it. I gotta come back to Zoom. Okay, so I just send this real quick. I gotta actually send it to you guys. So, hey, Kayla, wanted to confirm I have you on my release list for the Thrive GLP-1, and I'll send you info as soon as I get anything. In the meantime, you can log into Lavelle.com using the following credentials to look around the site. There may be some products you want to get started with right away to start prepping for the GLP-1, sorry. For example, Biotic is great for your gut health, which will play a big part in digestion. Women's capsules are awesome for overall focus and energy. I'm trying to give them a reason to log in. I want them to get on the site, start playing around, right? So I just throw a couple things out there at them because we don't know how soon it's coming. They say fall, that could be the end of November. I have no idea. So then I have my link to my page. I give them their username and their password, let them know if they have any questions, they can, they can let me know. Let me show you Sonia. La, 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 la. Boards. Okay, my board. Okay, so here's my GLP-1. So this is that slide, the page 1 of the slides that you can share in your stories. I use it as my cover photo for this web page. I put a little button that they could go, if they click this button, they go right to create a customer account. No one has clicked that button. However, they have all filled this out easily. So then I just go in and make that. But when you're done with this board, like or this page, when you've made this page, you click the share button and it's going to just copy a link to your clipboard. So, and I know I'm on my desktop, but so now that I've put that there, when I enter that, this is what will pop up on their phone or their computer. So it's what you just saw, but it's not in Boards anymore. It's on, the computer. And this is where they would fill out their name, their phone number. They would check whatever. They could click submit. I also put talk on Messenger if they felt like they wanted to ask me questions, but again, no one has clicked that either. I will tell you, I think it was Lindsay put, and I don't know where, I can't remember now where she put it, but she basically had like a little check mark box that said, I have permission to text you information about GLP-1. Because they are giving you their phone number, and I wanted their phone number and email because I wanted to create the customer account, but I thought that was a good idea, and I haven't changed mine yet. So like, see, I'm back in the Boards thing.
And all of that's done through this one board, or you have to go into Canva yourself?
You've got to go, no, to make this, you have to go into Boards, right? Let me go to Boards. And you go down to create, can you guys see everything? You're going to go to create board.
Oh, yeah.
But instead of actually making the boards like we're used to, over here under the add button, you go to the web page.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, once you're in that, you need a picture, right? Like you need, so that's where that picture came from, was my Canva.
I'll get cute tomorrow.
Yeah, that was, and that picture was taken months ago. But that was for my Canva. And so I made all of those slides. I'm sorry, it's so slow. I made all those slides in Canva to use in stories, but then I thought, well, that one could be the cover photo or whatever you want to call it for that web page.
Sandra, the Zoom that Courtney did Thursday night explains it really well. She goes step by step on how to create the page.
Yeah,
What I'll do is I'll watch it on my iPad and create it here on my
that's
laptop.
kind of what Lisa did that night. So these are
Okay.
the slides, right? And so I have these slides now that I will use in my stories. And on that the next to like this one right here, I put the link over my face in Instagram that they can click on. But I just used that top photo right there on my board just to make it easy on myself. So I wasn't having to, come up with a new picture. Does that make sense? And I will tell you, if you can do it on the desktop version, creating it is so much easier. Stop this. Versus trying to do it on your phone. Plus, there's more options when you're on the desktop than there are on your phone. So if you can like get on your laptop or get on your, actual computer or whatever, you'll have way more ability to play around. And the great thing is like you're making it. So if you make it and you don't like it, just move it around, do something different until you click that share button and copy that link to your clipboard to then send to people or use. No one's going to see it. So if you pop your picture and you don't like it, or you don't like the order of stuff, you can drag things around and move them around. It actually, when you're building it, it reminded me a lot of Linktree. Like the way when you build a Linktree, you get those different bubbles and you can move the bubbles around and all that jazz. It reminded me a lot of that. Oh, hang on one second. That's my daddy calling me. So because we have to create the page, yes, if you want to, unless you're in the free trial, but even then, if you're in the free trial and you make this, you'll be sad because it'll go away. So I do feel like it's worth the $9.99 for right now to get the names and the emails and all that stuff. And of the gazillion people that have asked about it, will they all order? I don't know, but they're all entered in my computer now. Like I have all their information. And there were some customers who had dropped off the face of the earth that I kind of thought were just ignoring my every move. But like the second I posted it, they were like, I want information. So I was like, oh, so they're still paying attention. So you just never know. Speaking of Sandra Dilbeck, Rhonda Kuntz filled it out for me. So I was going to email you that and let you know Rhonda's interested when it comes out.
She's a promoter.
I know. That's why I want to share that. So I don't know if I'm forgetting anything. We did auto ships. Oh, I just want to throw this out really quick. On Saturdays we do the live opportunity Zoom. That's not always convenient for people. If you have anyone who's talked to you about it, just tag them in the live, right? Just go back and tag them in it. That'll boost the live to get more exposure anyway. And then that's a very direct way of letting them know, and you can always message them and be like, hey, I tagged you in this. You asked me about the opportunity one time, or we talked about the auto bonus one time, or we talked about how I, whatever one time. And you could just say, I tagged you in it. I thought you would enjoy it, kind of thing, that sort of situation. But while we're all together and it's just the four of us, what's going on? Like what? And I mean, I know, Sonia, your whole life has been turned upside down in the best possible way that it ended. But like I know that Lisa and Sandra were struggling with the form and writing the names down. And Sonia, I know you were struggling with missing the bingo card. Although I will say, I could tell from your social media that you were probably still using old bingo cards, because I never noticed a lack of any kind in your social media. Do you know what I mean? Like you definitely stayed on top of it, even though maybe it felt like a struggle. But give me some feedback on, are you getting better at the check marks? Or like what is the best thing? Because if we keep trying to revamp things and make them better, I want them to truly be better, not like, oh, this is good, but this part sucks kind of a thing.
Well, last week for me is a complete wash.
I know, yeah, just ignore last week. You
Yeah.
go back 2 weeks for you.
So, well, 2 weeks ago, honestly, I wasn't even doing the bingo cards. I was just trying to do things from memory.
Okay.
Okay. The I just can't do it feels like to me cold messaging. So I'm really, really struggling with that. And I'm
Well,
just doing the regular reach outs through stories
okay.
and custom conscious comments.
What part feels like a cold message though? Are you not using your own words? Are you only using scripts?
No, I'm like for the samples when I haven't had anybody really asking for samples.
Yeah.
The girl that I'm sending the sample to is because I reached out to her about a post that she had made. So that's how this sample's going out tomorrow.
But so that was the sample message. You reached out to her about her problem to try to
Well,
get her a sample.
I just said that I understood because I had issues with my feet for a long time and being tired. So
at what point did you talk about Thrive though?
I had invited her to several Thrive, several of our Thrive locals.
Yeah.
And she just never made it.
Yeah.
So when I saw that post, I was like, I understand what you're talking about with your feet and being tired because I came home exhausted. So if you're interested, I would love to get you a sample in the mail.
Yeah.
And
so that was a sample message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think a lot of time, I think we wanted people to have the scripts if they struggle with what to say to people. But I think for a lot of you OGs, the scripts, you don't have to use a script.
Yeah.
Like you absolutely don't have to use it. I don't really use scripts during the day. Like I had some success with the teacher sample thing, sending out samples to teachers back at the back to school. And once I typed that message, I just copied and pasted it. And then I shared it because somebody else could use it. But only do the messages that you feel comfortable with. The idea behind this is to make sure that you're actually talking to 2 people a day about a sample.
Yeah,
right?
and I have been doing that.
Or 10 people a week. So if you think to yourself, okay, it's sample Saturday, I'm sending out 10 messages, or I'm going to go find 10 people on social media that are like struggling, and you do all of the sample messages on one day, that's cool. It's just an idea to make sure you're doing them all. And yeah, so I think you're probably I think this is the same conversation I had with Lisa. You're doing it, you're just not we're just calling it something different.
Yeah, but I'm really not reaching out about samples unless I see somebody like that. Like I'm not just sending a sample message.
Look at this page, you wouldn't be like, oh, I haven't talked to anybody about a sample yet today. I need to find somebody to talk to.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Sandra.
Okay, I had to unmute what Sonia had said. And then I heard somebody talk about, if you look at the people, and I don't know what Zoom I was on the other day. I don't know, it could have been Tammy or Lindsay. Tells you where my head is. Anyway, they were talking about how the people who created free accounts with us back in 2015, 2016, 2017, they wanted that info then, but their time might not have been right for them. But look at how many years have passed, 6, 7, 8 years. Okay. They may be in the middle of those 40s. Guess what's going on in their world? So I'm taking that mention and just getting back into Messenger with these folks. Tell me what's going on. Oh my gosh, I know school is in full throttle. The kids have been in school 3 weeks now, 4 weeks, whatever. How are you surviving? What have you? I've got people a year later who still don't even know that I moved.
Yeah.
So that's a
conversation. Yeah, that could be a follow-up. You could go into their stories and send them a message that way. That would be connecting with somebody in stories. Yeah, I mean, people, if you signed up as a promoter in 2015, which I think, Sonia, is that when you signed up too? Yeah, 2015. Lisa, you were what, 2017? Yeah. Okay. From then to now, people could be divorced.
Oh, yeah.
People might have had kids and the kids are gone now. They're in college, right? They could have had a medical issue. They could have changed jobs. There's so much that could have happened in someone's life that going back through your customer list and
Yeah.
connecting with them somehow is always a good idea.
Mhm.
Always. So even if like when I like up here when it says group members, followers, or friend requests, if it's a follower or a friend and you just haven't talked to them in forever, connect with them and check that shit off. Right? If it's somebody like if you see that person who you don't talk to and you haven't seen forever and they're actually watching your stories, definitely talk to them. They're watching you, right? The sample message is a bit more specific, but remember, a sample also doesn't always have to be the 3 steps.
Right.
You might be sampling somebody collagen, or you might be sampling somebody rest gel, or I don't know, skincare, whatever. Like there's all kinds of stuff that you could be talking about. The direct sale product and promotion one, honestly, at this rate, the way we have a promo every 4 days, that one's pretty easy. Do you want the details? Do you want the details? Did you see the sale? Do you like that kind of thing? But I really think right now, like as much chatter as you can create in your life, whether it's in real life or on social media, is going to be a really, really good thing. Because then in your stories and on your posts, when you're talking about this new product coming out, this new product that's launching, and talking about why you're excited about it for whatever the reason is for you personally, all those conversations are going to lead people to you, whether in real life or through the algorithm. So any kind of messages that you can be sending right now are muy importante, because it will be the thing that will help get people, into your database of, like, I originally just made a post and said, this is coming and who wants to be on my list or whatever. And a lot of people commented very openly. But then when I did that board button and all they had to do was click it and no one else on Facebook could see who, like, I think that's the thing. It's a very private thing for a lot of people. I was shocked at how many people sent me a message that said I'm on the shot and I went off. Or one girl was like, I didn't have it as an option, but one girl was like, I was on the shot, but I can't afford it anymore. Like her intern, like all that stuff. So there's a lot of people that want to talk about it, but they don't want to talk about it openly on Facebook. So I think any kind of conversations you can be having in Messenger, that algorithm will then drive your post to that person's page, that person's feed, and they're already in Messenger talking to you about something, they're going to be more likely to be like, hey, I just saw your post about XYZ, right? Like I was talking to a girl the last couple of weeks about these 5K she's been running. And all of a sudden she's like, hey, I saw your post about GLP-1. I used to be on the shop, but I can't afford it anymore. But we had only been talking about these 5K she was doing. But again, I don't know that she would have even seen my post had we not been having those conversations. Because your own personal feed is so busy and cluttered. And that's how everyone else's is. But if you're having a conversation in Messenger, you're more likely to pop up in their feed and or their story feed, either one. So okay, any questions? Anything else? I'm going to end the recording because Sandra wants to tell us something, but she doesn't want it recorded. So bye, everyone that's watching the recording. Let's see.